the mayor of Rome, New York, the one and only Jackie Izzo. Good morning.
Good morning.
So last night, what was the, in a nutshell, what were you talking about last night? State of the city. Good luck with in a nutshell. I talked about this earlier.
30 seconds, by the way.
So much that you guys have pulled off out there.
A lot of information.
Yeah.
It was really a standing room only crowd, and so I think people were really looking for information. I think they were surprised by some of it.
Yeah.
One of the things that we did announce was that we just finished our 2018 budget audit, and we came out of that with a $1.1 million surplus. So we've had a surplus now the last few years. We're very happy with that.
Deal.
We've returned $2.3 million toward our unassigned fund balance. So we've actually improved our financial position. We've increased our reserve to a little over, about $12 million plus. So I'm very happy about that, because when we came in, that was teetering a little bit.
Yeah.
If we had a rainy day, we were going to have some trouble. So I'm happy that we have achieve that sort of financial independence, so to speak. Clarity, and at the same time, we are delivering really quality service to the city through our different departments.
So the one thing that I know you've talked about before is how it was important to do development in all different parts of the city. You really don't want to leave any part out.
Yeah.
North, south, east, west, and you really have been able to accomplish that.
We have, and we actually added northeast, because northeast really encompasses the Griffiths Park, and we're doing a lot more to bring the park and the city together now. Yes, we are very fortunate. That was our strategy early on when we came into office. We wanted projects going in each quadrant. Last night, we emphasized that. I talked about we have development in all of our quadrants, and a lot of it. In the north, we have the Hannafords coming, which is a big deal. In the south, we've got a $25 million apartment building taking hold right now in some townhouses. We've got some demos and remediation of an old factory there. We have the Rome Cable project now that's going to happen in West Rome. We've spent some time on West Rome because that was ignored for a while. So we have spent some community development block grant dollars there. We did a Smart Walk program where we replaced sidewalks from the 400 to 600 blocks of West Dominic. We're doing a $700,000 streetscape public art project now on the 300 block of West Dominic, which is the last adjoining block to downtown from the west.
Right,
so it's an important piece of real estate for us. And then, of course, over on our east side, we've spent a lot of money there, but we did a big remediation project. We took down an old factory about a year and a half ago. So we're actively marketing that piece of property now. We've got a new tenant, someone that bought the 1212 building, which was the former Pettibone, and Jim Lawson, is creating Adam 29, a new corporation that will be in the copper wire industry.
Okay.
So he's really clearing the land there, and he's making a huge improvement to that property. And we've been talking with Jim for 3 years. So this is a plan that he's been putting in place. So we feel pretty confident that he's going to now be able to hire employees. He's put a new electrical service in the building. So I think he's on his way to taking off with that. We have an interim superintendent here for the fort until our new superintendent is named. So we introduced him last night. He's having a good time in the community right now. So just so many things happening. And of course, in the DRI area, we've got a lot happening.
Right, and that's the $10 million that
Yes.
That you have to compete for.
Right.
And are you back in competing again? Do you?
No.
Okay.
No. Once you win that, but
I see.
I will say that. So when you're doing a DRI,
Because that time is up now. I think the city of Utica is looking to compete for that.
yes, I think
soon.
the deadline is I think May 31st. So they would be writing their plan now. Yeah. When we did our strategic investment plan, we identified priority projects, which were the projects that were funded, and then pipeline projects. One of our pipeline projects, which was pedestrian connectivity between Erie Boulevard and West Dominic Street, was just picked up by DOT. Governor made the announcement. We won a $1.1 million TAP grant to do that portion, which is important, just 2 weeks ago. So that the state is looking at DRI communities to see how they're following on with the DRI. So we're already beginning to leverage money. The $10 million for us hopefully is going to turn into $30 million. in investment. That's the other thing I think that's important in Rome right now. We are beginning to see private investment on top of the public, and that was the whole idea. We had to make the public investment, lay the foundation, get our infrastructure together so that private sector business owners would have the confidence that the city would maintain its infrastructure, not only, day to day, but for the future. We were planning, and so we're seeing the investment now coming into the city.
Well, I think that's important to note because there is a lot that has happened on the base and that is continuing to happen on the base. Mm-hmm. But this is sort of stuff that's independent from the base, which maybe hasn't been seen in quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, in the last couple of years, we've opened 2 Stewart stores. There's going to be a new Burn Dairy opening next month. And these are in quadrants of the city where we had gaps. In our entry area, where the Burn Dairy is, you came into Rome on that corridor, and there was nothing. No gas,
right.
No groceries. So, and it's going to be really good for the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So we're happy to see that. The Hannafords is a big deal. That's a 49,000 square foot store that should be open. We hope next spring. That we need another grocery option. So, a lot of good things happening. And then, of course, the housing. We are really, really making a push for more apartments.
Well, one of your worries has been that, for instance, at the base, there are a lot of people that work there.
Yes,
but they don't live in Rome, and the only way you're going to solve that problem is with housing that's attractive to those people.
Absolutely, and we will be making more announcements concerning housing soon. We've had some focus groups with the human resources personnel at many of the different tech companies, making sure that whatever we're planning is what they're looking for. Not only them, but we've got Cold Point coming to downtown. When they build that $5 million facility, they're going to be bringing probably 50 people downtown. Now, so we're also looking at places for them to live down there. So a lot of good things are percolating now. We've got a lot of momentum, and we need to continue that.
Prior to, if you remember, 3.5 years ago, there was a lot going on in Utica, and I really feel that people that we talked to in Rome felt left out. That you're seeing all this progress in Utica and in Marcy, and nothing happening in Rome, and that seems to have changed.
Well, that was really the reason that I ran, was because the business community approached me, as well as even some people in the Republican Party, and said, "Look, we're just not going anywhere.
Yeah,
we need to jumpstart ourselves somehow." I couldn't disagree, because being a small business owner, I could see it. We really had stagnated. But part of that is the leader has to tell the state and the other agencies, what's your vision? Where would you like to see this community going in the next 5 or 10 years? And that's exactly what we did from the minute we got elected. And that's paid off. People are willing to help, but they certainly don't want to do that if you don't have a plan.
Right.
And so we have had a plan, and where we didn't, we put plans in place. It's like I said last night. The first year I did not give a state of the city because I did not have the confidence to deliver that type of an address. I didn't have enough information. It was a complicated situation.
We're talking to Mayor Jackie Izzo. Last night was the State of the City. Manaski.
Is there currently any loft-style housing in Rome? None at all.
No.
You hear so much about that in downtown Utica. It sounds like every other development announcement is new lofts, but there's none in Rome.
Well, the reason for that is Rome chose to have an urban renewal project that destroyed its downtown. So we took away all of our older buildings. In Utica's case, they are now repurposing those older buildings, and those set up great for new apartment projects, especially lofts. So the Copper City Lofts will be the first project that will accomplish that. I think that is going to be one of our best projects. We have the opportunity now to bring in a number of talented, creative people that should bring new energy, new ideas to our community. There's a lot of interest in that already, not only from people that live in Rome, but from outside of Rome.
Kathy is in Rome and has a question. Kathy, you're on the radio. Good morning.
Yes, the last 2 years, people have been standing out in the cold winter waiting for a bus shelter. When's the new bus shelter going to be, up and available so people can get out of the cold?
So the money's been
Bye-bye.
approved by the state, and I think that's one of the things people don't understand is when we can announce a project, but then we have to wait until all the paperwork is filed correctly and the state approves. But the money's approved by the state. That those specs will be coming out. We will be sending that to bid. We showed a rendering of it last night. It's going to be a very nice transfer station. It'll have floor-to-ceiling windows, heated and air-conditioned for people to get out of the cold. It'll also have Central's bus schedule in there. So I think it's going to be out on Liberty Street. I think people will be very pleased. And we hope to have that ready before the snow flies again.
Okay. And your skating rink is going in this year. That'll be...
We hope so. So we've just found out that the chiller that's required for the skating rink is the size of a tractor-trailer.
Wow.
So we are figuring out
where do you put
now where we're going to put that. Yes, but
it's going to go in a little storage building, but apparently it won't fit there.
Yeah, no. Also, too, working through getting the approvals so that we can put that out for bid.
We had one of your opponents on a few weeks back, and one of the things that they were critical of is communication. And how do you answer that?
Well, we were the first administration that put in a marketing and special events coordinator. Last night, I reported that since we've done that, our web traffic has picked up 100.5%.
Wow.
We've also added an electronic newsletter. It's a monthly newsletter. We have a digital events calendar that comes out every Thursday. We have had numerous community engagements focused around Woodhaven, downtown, Erie Boulevard, where we have active projects taking place. We have another series where we've had over 100 participants weekly talk about why they love Rome. So we've got, from the social media and the media marketing standpoint, Walk with the Mayor. That's a big program. That's one of the reasons I started it, was so that I could get to the neighborhoods and listen to people in their own setting.
Yeah.
Then Walk with the Mayor this year will kick off on June 4th. We do that every Monday and Tuesday throughout the summer. So I think we're pretty accessible.
Okay. And the Walk with the Mayor, that is basically you're walking into the neighborhoods, and I'm assuming every once in a while you run into somebody who's upset about something isn't right.
Actually, we encourage people to call into my office and ask us to come to the neighborhood if they have a problem. Because when we come, we bring the codes department, the fire department, the police department, and any other department that we might feel is pertinent in that situation, and Public Works, of course, and we try to solve the problem. And most of the time we can. And we found a lot of things. We put in a sidewalk rebate program last year. We have a rebate program, but we upped the ante. So we reimbursed 75%. We had $100,000 worth of reimbursement last year. We got a lot of sidewalk replaced. And now
75% say 25% higher than most. Usually
yes.
it's 50-50.
Well, we were at probably 25% or so. So we just really upped the ante, and it had great results. In fact, we have a waiting list right now. So I'm going to send legislation to the council again and extend that for another year, because sidewalks are very integral to your neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We put a tree trimming program in because we found that we weren't taking care of that. So we put a tree trimming program contract out there. All of this is about maintaining neighborhoods, making people feel good where they live.
Mayor Jackie Izzo, thank you. We'll talk again.
Thank you.
You're good? You look like you want to add something.
No.
You're
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. You do these gestures to me. I don't know what you're doing. Could be
just a dance.
A little scary. Jackie, thank you, Jackie.
Have a great day.
You too. Got a break at WIBX.